You're listening to Superpowers of the Soul on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that elevates superpowers to the divine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Jennifer Urezzio, superpower expert and founder of Soul Language. And this is Superpowers of the Soul. And today I'm with Shivany, Gonell, and we're talking about spiritual knowledge through the sacred feminine. Welcome. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to be here with you.
I'm excited. So I always like to start people getting to know you on a deep, soulful level. If you had a superpower of your soul, what would you consider the superpower of your soul?
Okay. Look, I act as a bridge between heaven and earth. So I am a divine channel and messenger, and I help conscious, ambitious women align their business with their divine gifts and life lessons through the Akashic records. So these women might be outwardly successful, but they're also burnt out, and usually their personal life is in shambles. So I'm also an empath and an energetic healer. And I have a really innate understanding of the human condition and the various negative patterns that we need to uncover and transform to truly come into our power.
Okay, so what would you then consider the superpower of your soul?
To be the messenger and the bridge, basically. I'm straddling both worlds, heaven and earth.
Beautiful. So you talked a little bit about, what we call the sacred purpose, what you're profoundly here to experience, and then offer that experience to others, this straddling between two words, this anchoring of sacred feminine. How has that sacred purpose impacted your own life?
Impacted now, or where did I come from?
However you want to answer that question.
Look, I grew up in Germany as a single child, and as probably most of us believe, we do select our parents. There's no accident. And I selected parents. My mother is basically, she's still alive, 92. She is a full-blown narcissist. And my dad was an atheist. And so I was born open and was very, very confused that people couldn't see or hear what I perceived. And so, of course, having a atheist father who believed there's nothing else there except, what you can see and touch and feel, I basically lost myself. And then having a narcissistic mother that sees the child basically as an extension of her was also really, really difficult. So from a very, very early age, around 14, I literally asked, who am I? Why am I here? Because whatever was modeled for me just didn't fit. I didn't resonate with it. So when people my classmates were really into boys, my thing was writing poetry about the soul, basically. So I would say I came to the work because of my own suffering, and then basically started on the journey, traveling widely, living in India, living as a yogic nun, and then basically really wanting to know, who am I and why am I here and why is Earth so difficult, basically. So that was my journey. And so I did over 200 rebirthing sessions. I've become a yoga teacher. I've become a energy healer. So basically my own upbringing basically has shaped who I am and who I'm serving now.
So you seem to have a very interesting kind of journey. I mean, I haven't met anyone whose journey is a straight line, but yours seems to be, curves and rolling hills. So during out your journey, is there some common theme that your soul has shared with you over time?
That's a good question. Yes, the first thing that I really had to work with and even understand and recognize, and I noticed that all of my clients have exactly the same, is how to live as an empath. And it's actually a gift, but if you don't know how to work with that, because as an empath, you feel deeply, you feel other people's energies, their emotions, you pick up on environmental energies, and if you don't know that this is actually not you, you believe that whatever you're picking up is you, and so you're working extra hard basically, or you realize, oh, I'm angry, and you think you are angry while you have actually picked that up from another person. So being an empath and how to navigate the world and how to actually use that as a superpower has been a recurring theme for me.
So if there's an empath listening, what would you suggest based on that journey and that knowledge and that theme?
Look, I teach people something that I call the angel wings, which basically helps you bring your own energy closer to your body. Because quite often, as an empath, we are energetically wide open, which means that you're basically picking up everything that's around you. So one really powerful exercise I find is that you imagine angel wings that are like huge angel wings that are attached at the back of your shoulders, and then imagine that you're giving yourself a hug with your wings. And what happens is that your energy field will be more compressed. So you're still open to the earth, you're still open to your guidance, but you are pulling your energy field in, which also means you will feel more comfortable and safe. And you're not picking up everybody else's energy.
So in other words, you're wrapping yourself in your own energy.
Yeah, so in other words, you want to basically, if most people can sit silently, close their eyes, and then get an idea, how far does my energy field extend from my physical body? And quite often it's like 2 or 3 meters extension. And the idea is to bring the energy closer towards your body.
Beautiful.
In whichever way you can do that. You can imagine, tying yourself up as a parcel, or you can do the angel wings, so anything that will help you to actually pull your energy field closer to your physical body will help you with being an empath.
So before we have our brief break here, tell people how to get in touch with you to learn more about you and what you do.
Sure. So my website is shivany.com, shivany.com. And you're welcome to avail yourself to a quiz to actually find out whether your business is soul aligned.
Beautiful. Okay, everyone, stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Don Rekla, Executive Director of SuperPower Experts, and we want to thank each of you for making SuperPower Up the #1 podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. Because people like you have the courage to say that mindfulness, healthy living, disrupting reality, the pursuit of consciousness, responsible entrepreneurship, and radical parenting matter, we now amass over 1 million downloads monthly in more than 90 countries. Our numbers keep growing because there are far more people willing to live divergently than mass media wants to acknowledge. For you, the change makers, the light bearers, the way showers, we say thank you. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower quiz. And as Neva Lee Rekla, our youngest podcaster, likes to remind us, remember, we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
Hi, this is Jennifer Urezzio, and you're listening to Superpowers of the Soul. And today we're talking about spiritual knowledge through sacred feminine. So let's get everybody on the same page. There's a lot of kind of stuff out there about what sacred feminine means. Can you share a little bit with the audience what you mean by that term?
Sure. So it's basically really a shift, which would mean a feminine leader would take responsibility for her feelings and also emotional triggers. And they would listen to their feelings and intuition for guidance on what is not working in any environment. They practice deep listening. And they also no longer believe that consciously expressing their feelings at work or in a conference call or in a boardroom is weak.
Yeah, I remember being in corporate America and they telling me, that there's no place for feelings in business. And I remember saying to one of my male bosses, really, because the men seem to be more emotionally trapped than the women in this office, right?
Yeah.
They were operating with their emotions unconsciously, and they became daggers instead of being conscious and open about them, and really being respectful and creating an environment that was creative and life-giving.
Yeah. Because it's the opposite, the masculine way quite often is push, deadlines. The feminine is really different because the feminine leader would believe in the interconnectedness of all things and also that their choices affect everything else.
But, that masculine energy of push is also unconscious masculine energy, right? It's not very conscious when it's kind of shoved down your throat like that.
That's it. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
If somebody wants to start being able to express and tap into this new way of being, what would you suggest?
Look, I would suggest to practice being present. And I know that we hear these words probably very often, but to start, being present is exactly like being in the moment and trying to quieten the mind. And eventually you can do that anywhere. Yeah, whether you're in the boardroom, whether you're on the tram, it's like really, and it's a learning. Like how can I be actually in this moment without reacting?
Yeah, without reacting from pattern, right?
Yeah, because out of being present, you will be able to hear your intuition.
Yeah, and there's a simple tool, listeners, if you really want to do it. You can ask Divine Intelligence, your body, to place you in present time. And that will allow you to reconnect and kind of be dropped into the here and now, and then you can make choices from there. So people are practicing being present, right?
Yeah.
So after they've gotten some awareness of being present, what else, kind of where's the next discovery for them? What happens while they're being present? What naturally occurs in the evolution of their sacred feminine energy?
Well, quite often what occurs is that they actually are becoming aware of their negative thoughts, their patterns, or when they're activated. Yeah, because basically being conscious means that we have to be in our bodies, which I think most of us have really are challenged with that because we are so much living in our heads. Yeah, so being present for me means, okay, I'm in my body, I'm in the moment, I'm with my breath. And through that, I'm actually connecting to my innermost feelings.
Beautiful. And then, how does somebody be more accepting of their inner feelings? I think so often people don't want to feel their feelings because they feel as if they start kind of feeling them, that it's going to be like a forest fire and they're not going to be able to stop. So do you have a suggestion about being present with those feelings and knowing that you're safe to feel them?
Yeah, I think what makes it unsafe, and again, that is something that I teach clients, is when you go with the story. Like we can, so theoretically and practically, say I have an emotion of, say, guilt or anger. Doesn't matter what the emotion is. What perpetuates the feeling or the emotion is the stories that we continuously tell ourselves in our heads. This person did this, or, I shouldn't have done this. Yeah, it's the story. But if you, and again, that is something we can all learn, if you are able to just sit with the feeling, sit with the emotion without the story, be in your body, feel where that feeling sits or the being uncomfortable sits, if you can actually stay with that for 1 or 2 minutes, it will shift. It's emotion, energy in motion.
Yeah, it doesn't have a hold. It's only when you kind of keep repeating it and, trying to push it away that it becomes more solid in energy, right? Becomes more stuck than ethereal.
Yeah. And also, we are all divine beings. We are all really divine love and light. So underneath any, in inverted commas, negative thought, that is what shines through. Yeah. So the more you can actually heal yourself and examine yourself, the more freedom you will actually create internally. And with that, of course, comes external freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the freedom from basically we're moving from reaction to a response, to a conscious response.
Yeah. And then you'll move from a conscious response to this kind of state of being one with everything. And it feels like the only way I could describe it is magic, right?
Yeah. That's when that's the flow state, the magical state, when everything comes together and you pinch yourself, which is wonderful. And I also believe this is how we are supposed to live. We're supposed to be happy and joyful and share and give.
Yeah. And remember that we're whole and complete and make decisions based on that knowledge rather than pattern or pain. So before I ask my last 2 questions, give out that website address again.
Absolutely. So it's Shivany, SHIVANY.com.
Beautiful. So if there's one thing that you want the audience to kind of embody or remember from our conversation today, what would that be?
Look, I would say that you are powerful beyond measure. Most of us have no idea how powerful we really are, because I believe we are all the creators of our own life. Yeah, we are the master creator. Beautiful. And so, once you really get this, then life is really an adventure.
Yeah. And don't be hard on yourself if you keep having to remind yourself of this fact, right? Because we're human. And I think as we expand, you're going to have to remind yourself more as that expansion process is happening for you.
Absolutely. I think we have to keep every level, we have to keep reminding ourselves. It never stops.
Exactly.
But I think it gets easier. I always tell my clients, once you say from 0 to 100%, once you've hit the magical 51%, you're over the hump.
Exactly.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that you don't experience challenges or self-doubt or, but it's easier to come back to this place.
Exactly. Well, my last question is, if you were a magnet on your higher powers refrigerator, what would your magnet say?
Oh, God. I wish I could I wish I would get the fridge magnet that really spoke to me and still speaks to me. The magnet basically says that that I recognize that I am the queen, and that the path to ascending the throne has already been created. And all I need to do is step on this path.
Beautiful. So that's a beautiful, very long magnet. I love. So we can shorten it and say you are already on the path and you are already a queen.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And everyone listening, if you like anything you heard today, you can connect with me and all the other experts in the Superpower Net at superpowerexperts.com/the net. Thank you for listening. And don't forget, not just to find your connection, but be your connection.
Love it.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower Quiz today.